Across the quiet hills of southern Indiana, hidden among forests and winding country roads, stands a structure that has watched the world change for more than a century. Trains still pass through it. The bricks still hold strong. But many people believe something else still lives there too. Something that never left. Deep in Lawrence County, Indiana, just outside the small town of Tunnelton, Indiana, sits an old railroad passage known simply as the Tunnelton Tunnel. Some people call it the Big Tunnel. And for over 100 years, it has been the center of one of Indiana's most chilling ghost stories. The tunnel was built in 1857, during a time when the American railroad system was expanding rapidly across the country. Workers carved through the hills using little more than hand tools, explosives, and determination. When the work was finished, the structure stretched roughly 1,700 feet long, making it one of the most impressive pieces of railroad engineering in the region at the time. Massive brick walls were constructed to support the tunnel's interior, and the entrance was stamped with two simple words that still remain today: Big Tunnel. More than 160 years later, the tunnel still stands, and remarkably, it is still used by trains today. But over time, something else began to grow around it. Stories, whispers, and legends that refused to fade away. Of all the stories connected to the Tunnelton Tunnel, one stands apart. Because unlike the others, this one is real. In 1908, a man named Henry Dixon was working as a night watchman at the tunnel. His job was simple but important. He monitored the railroad and kept an eye on the tunnel during the night hours, ensuring the tracks were safe for incoming trains. Dixon was only 35 years old. And on one quiet night, something terrible happened. On July 24, 1908, the story made headlines in the Indianapolis Star. Henry Dixon had been found dead inside the tunnel. His body was discovered roughly 200 yards from the entrance, lying near the tracks. Beside him was his lantern, still burning. At first, investigators believed the explanation was simple. Perhaps Dixon had been struck by a passing train. But the evidence told a different story. According to the newspaper report, Dixon had suffered a blow to the back of the head, a wound that many believed could not have been caused by a train. Instead, authorities began to consider another possibility: murder. Some investigators believed Dixon may have been killed somewhere else, and then his body was placed inside the tunnel. The idea was chilling. If a train passed through soon after, it could have destroyed the evidence entirely. Whoever was responsible may have hoped the death would look like nothing more than a tragic accident. But the train never came, and the truth was never discovered. Despite theories of robbery, revenge, or conflict with other tunnel workers, the case was never solved. Henry Dixon's killer was never found. After Dixon's death, rumors slowly began to spread through the surrounding towns. Railroad workers whispered about strange sounds in the tunnel late at night. Visitors reported seeing something moving deep in the darkness. Some claimed that if you walked far enough inside the tunnel, you might see a faint light flickering in the distance, like a lantern, and standing beside it, a man. Many believe that man is Henry Dixon, still wandering the tunnel, still searching for the person who killed him. Over the decades, witnesses have reported eerie experiences inside the tunnel. Some claim they've seen an apparition walking slowly through the darkness, a figure holding a lantern, a figure that disappears when approached. Others say the spirit looks even more disturbing. According to some legends, the ghost appears without a head, carrying it in one hand while holding the lantern in the other. The story says the spirit wanders the tunnel endlessly, trapped between the living world and whatever lies beyond. And if that isn't unsettling enough, the ghost of Henry Dixon might not be the only presence there. Another legend tied to the tunnel involves something that once sat directly above it: a graveyard. According to local stories, when the tunnel was being carved through the hillside in the 1800s, workers may have unknowingly cut through land that had once been used as a burial site. Some accounts claim that during construction, caskets fell through the ceiling of the tunnel, bodies dropping directly into the worksite below. There is little historical evidence proving this happened, but many people believe it could explain why strange activity is reported in the area. If the rumors are true, then the tunnel may have disturbed far more than just rock and dirt. Another chilling story describes a tragic accident near the tunnel. According to local legend, long ago a family traveling by horse and buggy lost control while moving along the hill near the tracks. The wagon crashed down the slope toward the river below. The entire family was said to have died in the accident. Visitors to the area sometimes claim they can still hear something late at night. Screams echoing through the woods. Voices that sound distant, but desperate. Whether the story is true or not, the reports continue. Today, the Tunnelton Tunnel remains standing much as it did more than a century ago. The brickwork, admired by historians and masonry experts, has endured storms, trains, and time itself. The dark passage still cuts through the hillside, and trains still roll through it, which means one thing for visitors. The tunnel is not abandoned. Standing inside it can be dangerous, because at any moment, a train could emerge from the darkness. But even knowing that, people continue to visit. Curious explorers, ghost hunters, urban legends enthusiasts, many hoping to experience something unexplainable. And some claim they have. What really happened to Henry Dixon in 1908? Was it a robbery? A feud with another worker? Or something else entirely? More than a century later, the answer has been lost to time. All that remains are the stories. The newspaper article. The quiet tunnel stretching 1,700 feet into darkness. And the possibility that somewhere inside, a lantern still burns. Waiting. Searching. For the truth. If you ever find yourself near Tunnelton, Indiana, you might see the old brick entrance standing silently in the trees. 2 simple words above the arch. Big Tunnel. And if you decide to walk toward it, just remember, sometimes the legends we hear start with something real. And sometimes, they never truly end. Because somewhere in the darkness of the Tunnelton Tunnel, a man named Henry Dixon may still be walking, looking for the one person who knows what really happened that night. And maybe, just maybe, one day, someone will finally find the answer.